AI is not infallible.
If you're not using AI to its full potential,
I don't think AI would be the answer to it. This kind of goes hand in hand with AI.
AI personalization is something that's going to be really, really incredible.
They're so sick of the AI.
Hyper-personalized with the help of, like we said, AI.
Lost in the BS of AI.
The video content AI is creating now.
It's interesting that you mentioned AI.
AI might be your solution.
Generative AI video, kind of just inherently scary. OpenAI, AI content, AI. What do you really think is going to be the biggest trend of 2025?
It's got to be AI, right?
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie. Welcome to the Misfit Marketers Podcast.
And I'm Adam. We're happy to have you.
So, Adam, by the time everyone listens to this, it is going to be 2025.
Happy New
Year.
Yeah.
With that being said, Adam and I thought it would be a good idea to take a deep dive kind of into what people are saying about what's, I guess, an anticipated trend for marketing in 2025. And also some of our own insights as well. So what we think we're going to be seeing more of, and, you know, even trends that we think are good, things that we want to go away, all of that good stuff. So we'll kind of just dive in. Adam, talk to me. What do you really think is going to be the biggest trend of 2025?
I mean, it's got to be AI, right? I mean, like this is just only getting better every so. You know, this is no new surprise, but you know, that level of AI personalization is something that's going to be really, really incredible. You know, it's going to help companies be able to just create content much easier, much faster, and even with AI, even the video content AI is creating now is just getting absolutely phenomenal. You know, so if you're not using AI to its full potential, and even you know, I'm still learning about it, you know, as we all are kind of growing together, you know, but I think that AI personalization is going to be something that's really going to be rocking and rolling in 2025. What about you, Steph?
Quick question. When you talk about the video AI, are you talking about like Sora, like the OpenAI? Yeah, I'm wondering, you know, one thing that I would love to know more about is creating AI content, I guess AI video editing. For me personally, that would be great. And I know it exists somewhere. I honestly, to be honest with you, I haven't even looked into it, but that would be super cool. Like, because I'm just trying to figure out what the best use cases of generative AI video would be that isn't kind of just inherently scary and sort of like either one, spammy, or two, just like trying to fake people out.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
interesting.
What do you think?
I'm sure folks are going to get better and better, like with utilization of it, right? The people at the forefront, you know, I don't know who it's going to be yet because we're still kind of getting used to it. But some companies, you know, are going to come out here and do phenomenal things with it. I think we're all going to learn from that. You know, I think some type of stylistic, you know, kind of rollout of these videos is going to be at the forefront. I think, like I said, that's something that we can definitely get impacted from.
Yeah. Especially considering video content and especially short form video content is becoming so, I mean, it already is so prevalent, right? That's not going away. I know we spoke about that the other week with Johan as well, but it's true. I mean, it's only going to continue to grow in scope. There's always the contrarians, right? People saying, oh yeah, see how it's all going in this direction? Well, it's going to flip flop in the other direction, which I mean, it very well could. But yeah, someone, I wish I could like find the post or whatever, but someone was like, oh, you know, contrary to popular belief, it's going to actually be horizontal videos that are going to become popular again. That's what's going to be big.
Is that a real take? Is that a take someone actually had?
I wish I knew more of what the context is.
I was going to say, yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting take, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, considering, you know, where are people watching videos, right?
Right, exactly.
And granted, yeah, you can flip it this way, but it doesn't really feel as nice in your hand.
No, it doesn't.
It's not as intuitive.
Right.
No,
totally agree.
Random thought, but I'm really curious to know what the metrics are of engagement in YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, well, I was doing some YouTube short work beginning of last year, and they were really rewarding you for if you like made YouTube Shorts like your primary, not obviously your only, but your primary kind of short form video rollout. I was working with a client, and we were just getting so much engagement on these YouTube Shorts. It was phenomenal. I don't know if they're still rewarding folks like that anymore, because I mean, I'm sure more folks have obviously hopped on the YouTube Shorts train and are, you know, trying to get monetized and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I hope they're still rewarding folks. If they are, then it's something we should definitely look into, you know. But also,
we'll be there next. We'll
could fizzle out, you know, too. It's like it's they've been really cooking for like a year and a half, 2 years, I would say. You know, really like getting after it. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm biased when it comes to YouTube, but then again, I would imagine that there's probably a lot of other people that use YouTube in this way. Funny enough, tend to watch more YouTube videos on my TV.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. Yeah, a
Yeah.
ton.
And it's
Mhm.
because they have the app, right? It's built into smart TVs. It's really intuitive to use the app. Unlike something like, Instagram, TikTok, that's fully mobile based.
Right,
Whereas YouTube, I feel like it lends itself more to being the horizontal videos and the long
right,
form content. I find it really aggravating if I go to search for a video, even if it's on my computer. That's where I'm looking at YouTube videos on my computer for the most part, unless I'm in a pinch or on the TV. And how annoying is it? And I wonder, has this happened to you, Adam, where you search for something and you're like, oh, this is exactly what I need. You click on it and it's a YouTube short, and then you have to watch this short form video that gives you no depth, and it's on your computer. I'm like, that's not why I'm here.
it hasn't happened to me yet, but now it's like a new fear unlock, and I have to deal with this coming up.
And
So
maybe it hasn't happened to me in a while, so
right,
I'm
right,
wondering if that's something they kind of sorted out and they
yeah,
realize that people that are just searching, on the YouTube search bar, they generally are looking for long form content
right,
versus
right.
short form, or maybe they've figured out that like unless it's on mobile, not to do that to people, but who knows? Again, that's something I kind of want to look into because I'm curious.
Yeah, even speaking into the realm of, if we're gonna go down this kind of like the TikTok discussion rabbit hole, the TikTok and short form content hole, I think a lot of this has been growing in 20. I think it's been growing in 2024 and will continue to grow in 2025. Influencer marketing. Me and Steph worked on a client together, and they put probably 85% of their budget into influencer marketing, right? And it seems to be paying off for them, and the different levels of influencers too. Like, you have micro influencers, like nano influencers, it's almost like everyone in any capacity can essentially be an influencer based on what the client is looking for. So I think that's gonna be a fascinating trend to see how that kind of unfolds. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, especially considering I don't know how true this is, but I do believe it. There's studies out there, like I've seen metrics where it's like, some crazy percentage of Gen Z, like they want to be influencers and content creators. It really kind of lends itself to that generation that grew up with the beginning of influencers.
Right.
Definitely not going away. I would anticipate there will continue, and there already is that push towards, like you said, Adam, like those micro influencers versus the mega influencers. I don't think that's going away at all,
Yeah. Agreed.
especially since, there's definitely a lot of skepticism online. And I think in general tend to trust people more, that where they're the type of influencer where you almost wouldn't even realize that they are an influencer. They have kind of a tight knit circle, they have a niche, and they're pushing content to their small but loyally engaged following.
Right.
I think that really pays off quite a bit. And then there's the ones that have 10, 20, 30,
Mhm.
50, even 100,000. That's not going away either, but I'm curious to see in the future what the investment brands are going to take. I mean, I think the best case study would be looking at mid to large brands and kind of seeing like where they're putting their investment, right? Are they just going to like a Kardashian, and putting all their budget there? Or are they doing a healthy mix, or are they tending to go more the direction of,
Right.
of those micro influencers?
Right, right. No, that's absolutely fascinating. I think the micros are going to kind of spike due to the fact that even these folks with 5, 10,000 followers, like we were saying before, it's like I think that's going to spike because of the fact that I think influencer marketing is going to get more expensive, in my opinion. But it could go the other way, and it could get less expensive because there could be more folks.
Right, because it's like a saturated market and people are
Right,
willing
right,
to,
right,
take pennies on the dollar, or
right,
just,
right.
or just freebies, which honestly isn't like half a bad deal.
No, it's not
Like
end of the
if
world. Yeah,
you're a micro influencer, and I never really pursued it, on like say like my personal Instagram back in the day when I had my travel blog, and and this is like 2016, 2017. So this is really kind of like the early days of
gotcha.
that sort of Instagram marketing type of thing. But I remember like there were brands that would reach out to me, and sometimes it, like, honestly, most of the brands that I did influencers of, it wasn't even paid. It was a lot of like getting freebies, like Huel, for example. And they still do a ton of influencer marketing. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's like a nutrient, like meal replacement powder.
Okay.
And they had a big push with a lot of people in like the travel market because, it's like travel friendly and blah, blah, blah. I remember they actually shipped a huge supply, and Huel's not cheap. So it was like $100 something worth of stuff. And they gave me like a whole starter kit, and like, oh
Nice.
my god, so much of it. They shipped it to my hotel in London, and I was like backpacking around at the time, so I literally
Oh
had to leave
yeah.
it there. I wasn't even able to create good content for them, but I
Right.
was just like, yeah, thanks for the free stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's cool. On my personal page, I've had like, startup jewelry brands, for example, and clothing stores reach out and partnerships. A lot of it, I'm like, oh, this seems like spammy, so I don't even respond.
Do you remember a website called? I don't know if this is it was an app, and this is like they were gonna like revolutionize influencer marketing, and this is like 2014 maybe, and they were called Clout with a K. Do you remember this?
Okay, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, so Clout with a K. I mean, whoever. I mean, it was around for like
Okay.
a cup of coffee, so it was not anything that was like cooking real well. But it was a cool idea that like you put it on your socials, that it measures out how influential you are, and then it pairs you with. It's a brilliant idea, right? But I don't know if it took maybe too early. It
It's been
pairs you with
duplicated. It's been
yeah, yeah.
duplicated quite a bit since. So I'm not familiar with Clout. Maybe they were kind of the
Yeah, they were like
pioneers of that.
one of the first people to do it. Yeah, it was
Oh, yeah,
wild.
'cause 2014, I mean, that's pretty early days.
Way early. Yeah, it's like 10
All
years
right.
ago, or
Yeah.
11 years ago
Yeah.
now.
It's like influencer marketing existed, but it was nowhere near where it was today.
No,
But
it's
now
totally
they
different.
have tons of those. It's sort of like it's almost like influencer marketplaces where
Right,
and I've been on these before as well, back in my youth.
right, right.
So yeah, I remember, again, I didn't really go too deep down this, but I don't know if they like exactly how they sort of measured things, but a lot of it was like you could pitch yourself to brands, brands could find you, you kind of like create a profile, and
Right.
it would be like a mix between like the mega brands and like the tiny little one-off ones. So other trends. Oh, here's a really good one. So online community building.
Okay. Here's my take on it. Obviously, having an online community it's not going anywhere, right? Even with anything. I think the way brands begin to go about it and how they're garnering that online community is what's going to change the most in 2025, if that makes sense. Like how they're going to get that community together. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes. What's your take on it?
How do you think they're going to have to attack things more strategically? Like in what way?
I haven't done a ton of community building in my day, but I mean, I think it's more like hyper personalization. Like really, really trying to personalize campaigns. Not even so much for like just like getting their persona right, but even like down to names and things like that. Like really getting hyper personalized with the help of, like we said, AI before. Things like that. I think the term engagement gets thrown around a lot. And I mean, like there's different levels of engagement with these folks, and I think doubling down on that in the new year, and like I said, with that hyper personalization is probably gonna be the biggest part.
It's interesting that you mentioned AI when it comes to online community building because I don't necessarily disagree. It's not something I've really thought about because when I think of online community building, totally on the money about like being hyper personal and even addressing people by name. But when I think of online community building, I think what makes it really special and can make it really effective for brands is if you actually have community managers for your brand that kind of hit the pavement and are engaging one to one, but without the fluff and the BS of AI. Because
Right.
I know AI is getting more and more advanced, and in some cases, it could be practically indetectable. But I think the thing is that, like I mentioned before about skepticism now, I think people will suss that out.
Yeah, it
AI
depends.
is not infallible.
But AI is only going to get better, though. So that's going to grow as well. Also, it's a budget thing, right? If you can't afford community managers, maybe AI might be your solution to help you out there. So I mean, it really depends. It's a situational thing, in my opinion.
Mhm. I'll agree with you in this. There's a lot of brands that will try to do this and they will try to create and curate their own community. But it's one thing to start one, it's another thing to do it well to the point where it actually has an impact on like your bottom line
Totally.
and gets people truly engaged, right?
Totally.
Because I don't know, like I'm trying to think of like brands that have cult followings and like whole cultures and communities.
Yeah.
The first thing I think of is cars. No offense to anyone that has a Jeep here. But I think it's so cheesy. But like,
I have a Jeep, and it's not a Wrangler. I have a Jeep, and it's not a Wrangler.
Okay, but no, I'm not saying anything against Jeeps themselves, but like the Jeep culture.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is it with? What is it? It's like the ducks
The rubber duck
and
thing. Yeah.
yeah, and like people do all these weird
That's a
mods.
great example. That's a great example of
My
it.
my landlords, like I hope they don't hear this. But shout out to them. I mean I think it's cute. It's cute what they do. They have these like so over the top modded out Jeeps, and it's just like
Right.
such a part of the culture. Now a community like Jeep, right? Because they have this built-in sort of community. Which I honestly wonder, it was something that was built organically, or was there like a little bit, like, has there been some influence from Jeep? Who knows?
Right.
I'm sure there's some write up on this.
Right. I also think too, it's like it started with like you have the old Jeep wave. Like when you're in a Wrangler, you wave at someone every time you see another Wrangler driving by. So that's, I think, maybe where it started from, maybe a commercial a million years ago or something. But that just goes to show there's always a little bit of little like you kind of little Easter eggs within the Jeep, kind of culture, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys are cute. You guys are
Yeah.
cute. I like you. You should get some ducks.
Yeah. I don't Wrangler. I have like a Cherokee, so it's not nearly as
Oh,
cool.
I will admit that like I have a rubber duck collection, so I don't know why I'm hating on
Yeah. Right.
the Jeep
You
people,
didn't, you didn't have
but
a
it's
Jeep.
just but listen, it's just not in my car and it's not part of like my culture. I'm not like
Right.
my
Right.
culture is rubber ducks. But
Right. There
anyway,
you go.
so totally went on a Jeep tangent here.
Yeah.
Point is though, is a community like that because they have this built-in culture already,
Right.
it's
Right.
very easy to lend itself to an online community because people are, they've got a cult following. People get hyped about it. There's obviously like this sense of connection. It'd be really easy for Jeep to cultivate that and create an online community from it. Not every brand can do that, but if you are going to do it, it has to be done right. And I don't think
Yeah.
AI would be the answer to it. I really
No,
don't because
not in that
I
situation.
feel like to me that sort of like takes away from community, you know? If
I
anything,
think,
I feel like that's the authenticity that like it's like we don't have enough of that I feel like people want online because they're so
right.
sick of the AI and like
I was more so
talking to a
speaking.
robot.
I was more so speaking the fact of not so much like almost like the content for the community builder. I'm not saying it has to be everything, but that's kind of where I was going with that as far as video, images, text, copy, all that stuff. Not so much like having these folks like talk to a robot. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I was going with
Okay, okay,
that.
I hear you. So like the content that's like curated as opposed to, I'm thinking when I think an online community, it could be like a forum, a chat. There could even
Yeah, no,
be a fan club,
yeah. Not in that respect. Yeah, I'm glad I just throw that
Yeah.
up real quick. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Sorry, I wasn't coming at you. I mean, I just think it's a good discussion to have.
No, I totally get it. I was like, I don't know if we're on the same page here with what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. No, the whole online community thing, it to me, it sets this like tone of like a juxtaposition against all that automation because the first thing,
Agreed.
if you were to Google trends in 2025 or even trends in 2024, AI, AI, AI.
Right, right,
Yes, that's true. But
right.
like because of that, there always has to be the counterbalance, right? Kind of to piggyback off of like online communities, I'd say like online communities are kind of part of experiential marketing. So when it comes to experiential marketing, I think one of the reasons why this sort of came into the forefront, it's because of like the post-COVID world. And this kind of goes hand in hand with AI, but just like the fact that everything went digital. Everyone was doing stuff from home. It sort of flip things on its head where yes, everybody loves the convenience of online and having things be digital, but at the same time cultivating actual experiences for people post covid became so much more valuable.
Right. I totally agree. 100%. Especially in a world where everyone's kind of itching to kind of start doing stuff again, I imagine, like from my experience. So, I mean, I think you're nail on the head there.
So another thing I read with 2025 trends is creating this omni-channel integration where and omni-channel has also been a buzzword too for a long time,
Right, right.
but where it ties into experiential marketing is that it's like making these multiple channels. So say like you originally engage with a brand online, then you go into a store or you go into one of these like in-person experiences that they curate. Say you like scan a QR code or something, and then it pulls up all this information and you're able to interact with the experience and like kind of piggyback off the experiences that you've had online as well. All sort of like ties together.
Yeah, it should be like a seamless, fun brand experience. Like from even in person, even in digital, that should be as seamless as possible.
Yeah. So what else? What are some trends or what are some things that you feel like you've seen in 2024 or like over the past few years that you either think might go away or that like you want to go away?
That's a great question. I'll tell you one thing. This is more of like a corporate thing as opposed to like a marketing thing. But I feel like with COVID and everything being and us still kind of being on the I think we're on the tail end of all of this now, but we're still having feel residual effects is having so many meetings. And especially so many marketing meetings and marketing departments with folks. Like there's like always like it could be an email kind of concept. But having so many meetings in 2024 was really tough because it's like a lot of the stuff was just like, you're with clients for, that's supposed to be a half-hour meeting when everyone gets on and the meeting's done in 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, well, like here we are.
Yeah. exactly. It's like at that point that could have been an email.
It's more of like a dream. 2025. So who knows? But that's my small kind of pet peeve about 2024 and interacting with folks.
Yeah, I'll say this much, and this is something that Adam, I think you and I are gonna have to really work together. We're gonna learn a lot from of like what can be an email versus what can be a meeting. I think for us, when it comes to us like internally and like our culture internally, I don't think we necessarily go overboard. We don't. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's more corporate. But what's interesting, you mentioned like even with like speaking with meetings when it comes to like speaking with clients, for example, right? I know we've had I have a couple of meetings that it's like, okay, yeah, this ended up just being like, 5 minutes. And why did we even bother with this? But the reason why for me, I feel like I'd always rather have it be the meeting than the email is because people don't check their freaking emails.
Yeah, right.
And then you have to chase them down anyway, and you have to pick up the phone, call them. And, so it's like sometimes I feel like with clients, I think, and they appreciate this too, like respectfully, it's like a bit of hand holding and, hey, like I knew it'd be a lot quicker if I just send you this information, but one, what if you don't do it? Or even open up the email. And then two, like, what if you have questions? And we end up having to have a meeting anyway. So
right.
I know that's not exactly what you mean, but
no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I agree with the clients end of it. I think that level of connectivity is great for anyone out there who does marketing. You show your folks that you're really there for them. And even if it is 5 minutes, that 5 minutes matters. To those folks and to us as well.
Facts. And I'll be honest, Adam. Like in terms of things to go away, yeah.
What are you thinking? It's a tough question.
Well, you know what? I will tell you one thing, and it's actually quite relevant to a conversation we had yesterday. I think what I would like to see go away and what I genuinely believe is going away is the concept of one, and I've said this before in the pod, and I've said this to you, like posting every day just because you feel like you have to feed the algorithm and you have to stay relevant. Posting and yesterday we were talking about kind of just like posting just to post, right. As opposed to posting because you're like, this is good.
Value. Yeah, exactly.
I would like to see that go away. The algorithm is one of those things where it's constantly changing. So who the hell knows? I know one thing though, posting just to posting stuff that doesn't get engagement, I don't think does anything, and it's stuff that you post just to post that doesn't get engagement,
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, the other side of that coin is creating good enough content with value that you could post every day, right? If you have a phenomenal content, like that you can get out every day, then if you're bringing value consistently, then great, but I agree with you totally. Posting just to post, if it's just some kind of like, I don't know, something silly, it's like just to get something out there I think that trend is going to go away as well. I would hope so anyway, because there's a lot of junk out there, you see from brands and things like that. So
yeah. And, another thing too, and I'll admit, like I am a big fan of using ChatGPT. I use it for inspiration. I literally talk to it. It's like my sidekick and my assistant. It's like my sounding board,
Right.
But there's definitely a lot of just like absolute shit AI content out there. And I think that is going to have to go away. It's just naturally going to weed itself out because people are kind of getting sick of it and it's not fooling anyone anymore,
Right.
Yeah, that's my take too.
So now that we're winding down the pod a bit, what is your New Year's resolution?
Ooh, work 10 times harder and drive you crazy. No, actually, I would say, and I know it's cliche, but work smarter, not harder. Know when good enough is good enough for one. Don't settle, but know that, and know when to delegate things and be better at prioritizing. Those are really key, especially as you and I continue to ramp up the agency and bring on more clients and, not to sound like every DJ I know, but, big things coming.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mirror very much what Steph said for mine. I also think to try and make time for myself and my family. A little bit more this year, just when necessary. It's like if you have
you should, and I think that goes for both of us too.
Right. I totally agree. That's everything on my end.
Again, everybody, Happy New Year. Would love to hear from you guys about what trends you anticipate, what trends you want to see, and tell us what you want to hear us talk about. Ask us questions, give us ideas, inspiration, whatever it might be. And hey, reach out if you guys have any questions about your own brands too.
Sure.
We're here to help. And let us know if you want to come on and talk to us too.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Steph have a lot of very cool ideas as how to get the pod kind of more unique and innovative in the future in 2025. So stand by for that for sure.
Hashtag big things coming.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, yeah, obviously go to upbeatgrowth.com/podcast, I think is what it is, to submit questions and things like that. Follow us on all the socials at Upbeat Growth, and we'll catch you in the next one.